Hey, you talk about your issues and I'll talk.
It's all right.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Good. Help
Nobody's on though, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of waiting for them, but yeah.
Can we say good morning? Good morning.
Yes,
good morning.
good
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
All right. Now we here. Now we here.
Now we here. You drink now?
Mm-hmm. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. See my eyeglass. Old lady in the building.
Old lady in the building. You're right back.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even put. Oh my God.
What you need?
Nothing. I don't need nothing. I need you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you needed something.
Okay.
Okay, guys. There's one person here. I don't know who you are, but good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Feel free to chat with us. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good conversation today. I'm gonna start here in a couple seconds, couple minutes. I would say probably the next minute I'll start up. Yeah, I had a little bit of a wild time last night. No, I just went out. My friend's birthday was yesterday, and he throws parties, Destiny Lifestyle, and so I went to go support him, and so that was good. Good morning, Pebbles. She said, "Good morning, Bam and Mama Bam."
Good morning.
Yeah, so I went out last night, so I'm a little tired, probably looking this morning, but we're gonna rock with it. It's fine, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. Which one? Okay. I just want to make sure. So, yes, if you're coming to the video, like this video. You okay?
Natural thing. Coffee. That's it. Coffee.
Just making sure you're okay. All right. So today, I went out last night. And I was pretty lit. Okay, let's just say. Good morning, Casey. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Casey.
Y'all met Bree the other day. I didn't get to play the game with you guys because I had so many things going on Friday. But I love me some Bree. So anyway.
And I love me some Casey.
Okay. Her name's Casey too.
Yes, but I love her too, and I love all three people. I love all you girls. Trust me.
Yes. She said, "Good morning, Mom."
Good morning. Good morning. All you girls are my favorite. Believe me, I'll see.
Listen, just so you know.
What Casey is?
It's a fun. It's fine.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. It's all love. So, hey guys, if you're coming into, just like up the video. You might have to go out of the chat and go back in and like it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started because you're here in your own time. So, this morning I had a little bit of a late start, so I definitely need my coffee because, babe, you got another Casey shaking my head, laugh out loud, joking. She's joking, but. Casey said, I got another Casey. Morning, Bethany. Bethany said, hello, Mom.
Hi, Bethina. I'm pissed because I left my phone so I could see the comments because it was very little.
Okay, so you call her Bethina.
That was her name, right?
Her name is Bethine.
Bethine. Well, Beth. Okay, Beth.
You going to nickname her. Okay, that's fine.
Keep it short.
All right.
Simple.
So anyway, so we're going to get right into it. So today I want to talk about fear. And the question that I wrote down for Mom, myself, and you guys is, how has fear shaped your life? How has fear shaped your life? And I will let Mama start. And of course, as you guys ask me whatever or share whatever, I will, note it so I don't forget it or go back up to it.
Okay. Fear. Fear is a cup. It is.
A cup?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are mental bracelets. Anything that we all into.
Mm.
I'm finding this morning that
I'm gonna make notes of things you're saying because that's good. Mental bracelets.
Yes. I'm finding this morning that I'm struggling with a whole lot of stuff that I've done it myself. I didn't remember something that was important to me, but it's my business. I can't get mad at anyone else. But I had to go into the air, okay, and pray for a little bit because I was going through some changes. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, okay, and I had to sit down and think about it.
Just like.
Okay, I had to sit down and think about it because I said, if I am so afraid to move around, if they keep me cuffed, then I'm a slave to myself.
Are you comfortable talking about what?
Nope, I'm not going to go too far in there. I'm just saying they're mental cuffs, whatever it may be that people in the world, it's cuffed too. It don't matter what it is. It's just that the fear part of it is that it keeps you thinking that you need that.
Absolutely.
And you don't need that. You go by your own, you know what I'm saying, insides, your inspiration, because it would never cease. So, or you can never move on.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah. And I think that feeling in itself is debilitating because you feel like you don't have any control.
Yeah.
When in reality, you really do. You really do.
Yeah.
But they
got more control than you think.
That's right. But the organizations, whatever that is, they want to keep that fear instilled in you so that way you don't feel like you can. And that way, I'll step. Are you good? Okay. Okay. So they want you to feel like you can't be without them, whatever that is, whatever that fear is, or whatever that institution is. They want you to feel like you can't move on. And that's how they keep you with them, whatever that is.
Cuffs. Even or anything that you cup to. Anything.
Yes, it will.
Anything. Men, women, relationships, sex, drugs, whatever.
So Casey said, fear is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. It will stop you from doing a lot of things.
Okay.
Fear will stop you from leaving someone or leaving somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Fear will stop you from going somewhere or finding someone or something. It's a fact.
Yes, it's just strong for you. Your strength. You see it, and then you'll back off.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what? You go and pray, and you say, "This is my world. I can do this."
Yeah.
And if I can't do it, then
whatever your solace is, go do that.
Music, whatever.
Whatever it is. I found
fresh air, whatever. Pray.
Yes, that's right. I went to a friend's house yesterday. They were, and I did record it for you guys, so I'll put it up soon. But they were basically having like Valentine's Day. They both provide services. So one sister is a massage therapist and definitely a healer, and the other one is her specialty is aesthetics, so facials, makeup. She's really like a jack of all trades, to be honest, but a jacktress of all trades. But so they did this in their home, which was very comfortable yesterday, and gave really wanted to just shower their girlfriends, which was really nice. But Erin, who was the therapist, in her bedroom, she has a little nook where her closet is, where like, it's actually not her closet. I guess it's like a desk area, but she has like a sitting area and the light is really nice and the pillows are down. And it's really like her meditation, come down. And, I really like that. And I've always wanted something like that in my house. So I'm definitely in my next move going to be looking for a space that would allow me to have that kind of opportunity. And obviously I'm going to bring you guys along and you're going to be with me the whole way. So we're going to find a space for Bambi's meditation. But now I'll share. So fear has shaped my life in the regard of it has affected how all my professional and personal decisions. So if you were tuned into my live on Thursday night, I shared some things about my grandmother and how there was abuse in my home growing up and how my grandmother really controlled me with fear. And so as far as that was concerned, she, it was basically, she just wanted me to fear her and fear whatever was happening. I'm drinking my tea with you too. Yeah, Shamir, you better. Okay. So let me just read this comment really quickly from Casey. My aunt always told me, if you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you have always got.
That's the same.
I try and remember that and not let fear stop me from being happy. Ooh, that's a word. I love that, Auntie Casey.
All right now.
But basically, because my grandmother drove me with fear, it actually made me doubt myself a lot growing up. Even though I was completely capable, intelligent enough for certain things, I would say, oh no, I can't do that because I'm fearful that I won't be able to do it, that I won't be successful without even trying. And before my comment went away, what happened? It was good. Oh no. Well, dang.
It's all right,
Pebbles. That's all right.
Back.
Well,
come back.
Hopefully it'll come back. But basically, I want to say a couple things. So there are many things I didn't even try, or I didn't even give total effort because I thought I wouldn't be able to do it. I was fearful. When I went into school, when I got into college, I wanted to do other things. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be, someone who would work with music people. But I was fearful that wasn't practical because my grandmother always encouraged me to go after practical things, even though she wasn't practical, which is funny. I think the Capricorn in me, though, wanted stability. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do the practical thing. So I went to be a teacher, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I love training and teaching people. But one thing that
money in it
is no money in it. That's a fact. But honestly, I would have been okay with that if it would have made me happy. And what I found is when I went into the school system, that the structure of public school system did not work with me. Because I feel like the way I would feel is like if a child needed something that they weren't getting, that I needed to pay attention to that. And that was really important to me. And I actually had my OSTI, which is what we called our teachers that would teach us how to do this thing. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh, you're in the wrong profession if you want to do that kind of stuff. She was like, you need to be a counselor. That's literally what she told me. And I was devastated. I remember being like, oh, because there was a kid who was struggling with some personal stuff at home. And he was sharing pieces with me, which was weird because he wasn't sharing it with anybody else. But, and I really was like one-on-one with him. And she was essentially telling me, that's inappropriate. You have a role here, which is to teach the curriculum so these kids can pass testing, and you're not doing that. And, I just want to stop you before you start and get carried away. So, yeah. So that fear, I'll read it. That fear kind of kept me. What was I saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, about school.
Yeah.
About school.
So yes. So basically I was like, okay, well, shoot, I'm not doing this well. I'm not going to be able to do that, And she was just like, you're not going to be able to do this. But I could have still been a teacher, guys. That's the thing. I still could have been a teacher and I could have made it my own, but I was listening to someone else's expectations and what she thought, what she felt like her job was like. Again, her fear. She projected her fear on me in that moment because I was a young woman and she was probably been teaching for a while and she had a certain style and that worked for her, or it didn't work for her, but she wanted to let me know that, oh, you can't do this. And it was her fear. So that's just one of them, but I had many. I wanted to pledge in college and I definitely had my experiences with that. But I was fearful in different moments that people wouldn't accept me or that I would not be able to. Plus, I was closed. So parts of me, I wouldn't even share with people. Things that I had been through, I wouldn't even share with people. And I would be resenting because people would treat me like
against you.
Yeah, no, well, not that necessarily, but I would just think that they would not attack me. They would attack me without knowing that my issues. And so I would be like, shoot, should I even discuss it with them? Or they would think that I was this person and I wasn't. Like, basically, like I had all these things. And this is something that's been consistent. honestly in my life in lots of other areas too. People thinking that, I have it all together, or that I'm tripping or I'm faking, and it's because of the way I carry myself. And that's just a mechanism. I've had to be strong. So when they see my face, they see me smile, or they see me maintain, they're like, oh, nothing's wrong with her. When in reality, I'm breaking up inside. You know what I mean? And then I've gone back and forth about, hey, well, do I behave broken up so people can feel comfortable knowing that I need help, or knowing that I'm in a place of, sadness? But really specifically when it comes to my career choices, and I have lived and worked through fear. So when I first came out of college, I was working a really good job already in college, and I was making good money. And my grandmother started to get sick, and at the time, I was pretty much her first point of contact. So so I got really caught up in that. Very fearful that she was not gonna live. So I kind of just packed up my stuff and moved back to New York to help her. And that was the first time I ever moved back. That was in 2011. And I kind of just dropped everything I had going on there, which was not smart. I should have been more conscious of what was going on, more cognizant of the whole situation. Now, I feel as though fear has driven me in my career a lot, which is really sad because I've done a lot of things to be safe. I've done a lot of things that I felt like were safe, but made me really unhappy and anxious and
crazy inside.
Crazy inside.
Crazy.
That is the word. It's caused a lot of drama. Insanity. And revisiting trauma. Like, it's caused me to rehash trauma often. And I'm starting to address these things in a different way than I ever have before. So what I mean by that is I've always tried to live by other people's standards because of their fears. They project that on me. Now let me go ahead and read here. Go ahead, read what you're doing. My comment went away. Okay. My mom was a computer teacher when I was younger. She left due to the money and how the state did teach her. She's an officer now. Go, Mom. Go off, Mom. Okay. How do you approach ventures now that you are aware of how fear manipulates situations for you? Shamir, that is a great question.
Yes.
And I would definitely answer that. I'm going to just read. I'm going to answer that first, and I'll get right into the rest.
Okay.
So it is a newfound kind of epiphany that I've had, a newfound truth I have had with myself. So I'm addressing a lot of those things now. One thing that I know about myself is that I don't work well for others, especially when they're not team oriented.
Right.
When they kind of want to dictate everything, when they want to, when they are like not good communicators, they don't work hard. I don't think that they're quite as good in an arena that I think they should be. And what I mean by that is I feel like if you're a leader, you should kind of be an expert, not in all things, but you should be an expert in what you're trying to tell me about. A lot of people know how to do jobs, but don't know how to help people or coach people do jobs. So it is, it is tough it's tough to work with people like that and to take direction from people like that. I've learned that I don't really like to work for others. I am certainly a thinker. I am a leader. I like to, I like to be in a place where I can push action forward. A lot of people are not okay. They're uncomfortable. Mom, you're distracting me. I don't know why. It's so strange.
Because I'm staring at the comments.
Yeah. Look at the camera. Look at the people. Yeah.
She worried about me.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's hard because I want to look at what you're looking at. So
I'm just looking at the comments.
Yeah, but then I want to go over there and I forget what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get to the comments. I'm going to read them.
I didn't tell you. I'm just looking for myself. You go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, I understand, but it's distracting. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just having a hard time today. A lot has happened this morning.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. But I learned that so my fear has, with me, I have chosen a lot of jobs because I'm fearful of not being able to provide for myself, not being able to pay my bills. And I've taken a lot of jobs and taken jobs that paid me well, not because I was happy, but because I needed money. And so that has put me in bad positions because eventually I just get fed up with the job. I'm irritated. I'm irritable. But the crazy thing is it may look like I'm lazy or don't want to do stuff, but that's not who I am at all. Like I'm really, really driven and I can get very focused on a task and go hard and do several tasks at once. I actually, especially with my current job, I think I would be more productive if I could work at home by myself. I'm a great team player. I love to work in groups and teams, but the thing is the job that I have does not require any kind of team, anything. You're pretty much doing it on your own, and everything that we do reach out to each other for, we could just chat it or email it. And I know that if I did it at home, I would just be more successful. So I'm praying that will be something that will come to me that I will attract, because that's what I want. I want work at home opportunities so I can focus on my businesses, so I can focus on the things that really drive my passion. I also get a little frustrated being around people that at work sometimes, because not everybody is yoked as equally as yourself and wants the same things that you want, and they drive fear, just like I talked about the teacher, or perpetuating her fear on me. People do that constantly in workplaces, and that's why it can be such a difficult thing. A lot of people don't call out of work because they can't do the job or don't want to do the job, especially if it's customer based. It's not because they don't want to be with the customers, because they don't want to be around the people they work with, because it can be really taxing and exhausting sometimes. And you don't want to be, hey Leslie, you don't want to be like rude to people, or you don't want to be disrespectful, or looked at like, oh, she's hard to work with.
They're going through
that part, but you don't want to be like, she's hard to work with, or she's like antisocial, she doesn't want to talk, because that's the other thing. All these things are social. At the end of the day, like I was just talking to somebody about church, and they were talking about how they don't go to church and all this other stuff. And I'm like, church is just a social place. Like you don't have to feel no type of way. Like right now, technically, we are having church. Like we are discussing things that fill our soul or deplete our soul. True. So it's not, you don't have to go to that building to get what you need, as long as it's in your heart. For you. Right. That's what I'm saying. If that's what you want, if you need that social setting, that's fine. Nobody's judging you for that.
Or structure.
Yeah. Shamira said, Mama looks holy this morning. I like that look on you.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you.
Peace
Thank you, Shamira. Yeah, that's that. It's so funny. I had my hair wrapped up, and mad people outside was like, oh, you are channeling your Arabic African ancestry, huh? Indeed. I said, yes, I know that's right. Indeed. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so let's look and see what Casey said here. My girlfriend of 2 years was murdered in 2016, and my fear of not being able to have a happy life without her.
But you will.
Had me going through a hard time for almost 2 to 3 years later. It's now 2020, and I'm just now realizing that I'll be all right and can have a life after. So I feel you. And Pebbles said, oh no, sorry to hear that, Casey. Thank you, Pebbles. It took a while. Wow. Whoa, and I want the other thing to loving my family, and God help me. My God, I can only imagine you need the love and support from family. Yes, God is the way. So let me tell you something, y'all. That was Casey. I know that was devastating, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. People don't know what you're going through, and when they don't know, they come at you sideways, and you ain't in a place if you come at sideways. You know what I mean?
And the other thing is,
so they don't know
if you can have a tragedy happen and then stay in fear because of that tragedy. Stay in fear because of that tragedy. What I mean by that is, for instance, obviously we know that Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the other people, the others that were, and I hate to keep saying that, but I don't know them as well, but I know there were other lives lost as well, but they died in a, helicopter accident. So you could be paralyzed by fear and say, oh, well, I don't ever want to get on a plane or aircraft or a helicopter, but we can't live our lives that way because you won't live. You literally will become a hermit because of fear. Right. It can paralyze you to that degree. Again.
You just have to be willing to go out for it.
It can paralyze you to that degree. So you can overcome it, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not even there yet necessarily. But fear, face everything, and rise. Yes, I love that. But
that's what's up.
I like what you said about mental bracelets, basically them being like handcuffs, like mental handcuffs.
But there's a time to mourn as well.
Yeah.
You need to mourn.
Yeah. So fear has shaped my life because I've missed out on opportunities, haven't even gone for opportunities, probably didn't push myself as hard as I could have, didn't do as well as I could have. Keeping it funky with you guys, I don't really like my job. I don't. Okay. Every day I come home and I'm a total bitch. I'm so irritated. And it's not the job. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the actual job I do. Even though the job is mundane, I can get that job done with my eyes closed. It is just that the people around me, the kind of micromanagement, and not even my direct manager, but like her leadership and down. It's no real flexibility. And like I said, if I could work at home and not have people, hey, what's going on? What you do this? And did you do this? And
because I can do it.
I can do the job. I don't need people to ask me what's happening. I don't want people to know always. I don't always want to speak. I don't always want to talk. And has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me. And if I'm here in my home and I go, it's the environment all day. And so I would do that job with no problem if I did not have to deal with that environment. I am definitely, to kind of go back to Shamir's question, I definitely feel like I'm at a place where if you're just coming into the video, like the video.
Like.
But I'm definitely at a place where I'm like, you have to make some decisions for yourself, Bam. You cannot live like this the rest of your life. I've had some amazing jobs with good pay. I've had jobs without good pay. And one thing they all have in common is I get bored quickly with them. I am irritated with them. I, am drained when I leave. I'm drained when I'm there. And at this point, I need to address some things and decide what it is I want out of life. Now, when you leave this ties it back into fear. Thank you so much, brain, for getting me back together. When you lead your life in fear, you make decisions based on what you're afraid of. Mm-hmm. So the reason I've stayed in jobs like this is because I wanted to keep the lights on. I thought that was the only way I could do it. I thought, I have to pay these bills, so I got to stay at this job. And the corporations, they push you and encourage you to have these feelings because they don't want you to go. They don't want you to think you can do it on your own. They want you to stay an employee. They want you to stay and it's nothing wrong with being an employee, because I know I have a lot of friends that work for amazing companies, or friends that, work for companies, they feel valued, they love it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that part we're talking about is finding your happiness, finding your why, understanding why you want to do something. All right. So I know a part of now that I'm aware, is now addressing it, figuring out how to do that in a practical way. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned for that, because I'm actually working through this right now. I'm deciding what my next move is. And also, one thing I've learned through these decisions is you can't necessarily try to make other people understand. So what I mean by that is, let's just say hypothetically, I decide I want to leave my job and I want to pursue I want to pursue like, you know, some other things, some odd ins and out jobs so I can provide for myself. I can tell someone else who works in a corporate environment that that's what I want to do. And they're probably going to look at me like I got 7 heads. Like, that's crazy. Why would you leave something that's stable, secure money, and go and basically hustle and struggle? Mm-hmm. And with the passion behind it that I have, I don't think I could explain this how I'm blue in the face, but I cannot describe or explain my passion with them. So I think that it's important for me to recognize that some things are not going to be understood by others, and there's no need to do that. So Casey said, yeah, I can't see me doing anything other than being a chef. That's why after 2016, I'm determined to get my culinary degree. I'm a people person and can do just about anything. People tend to gravitate towards me, but was just not happy. Mm-hmm. Culinary is where I want to be. Oh, you can cook, Casey? Oh, yes. Follow your heart with that. And Pebbles say, yes, Bam. Yeah, Pebbles, I get down. I actually cooked for Tiger Woods once. That's dope AF, Casey. Go off, sis. And Pebbles said, that's facts, Bam. So it's true.
Yeah.
I know that obviously it's not easy. And that's something else I talked to Aaron and Toy both about yesterday, because their jobs are obviously non-conventional. They both work in service jobs, and people a lot of times will tell them, people will tell them like, oh, I want your life. I want to do what you do. Sorry, guys. I want to do what you do. And they're like, are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to be without? Are you willing to, are you willing to really put the work in? Because now what you're seeing is they're reaping for what they put in. But have you seen it? And so some people just aren't willing to do that. And so they're saying they want one thing, but they're really not with it. So in that regard, fear has made me make decisions that have made me very unhappy. Fear has made me stay in relationships that I shouldn't have stayed in, and that's everything from romantic relationships, friends, and family. Fear will definitely keep you. Honestly, a lot of toxic people use fear as manipulation to keep you around. That's like a big one. That's very common.
Yeah.
So within that, there's normally like drama and stress, family time, holidays, relationships. Yes, the grass ain't always greener. In my job, I sacrificed a lot of family time. Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Pepper said in my job, she sacrificed a lot of family time. And it's funny because I was telling, I told my mom, I told Toy yesterday, I was telling Nova, when I worked for a job where I made $100,000 and $90,000, I mean, one thing I learned is that, and I get the whole more money, more problems things, because when you make that kind of money, a lot of times, unless you're investing your money somewhere, you're just paying it back out. Hey, Kayla. She said, hey, Bam. Hey, Bam, Mom.
Good morning.
You're just putting that money back out. So it really is like just a rotating situation. You're on like what is the thing they used to ride? Not the Ferris wheel. That could be one. No, the one that go round and round and you just stand on it. God. Anyway, but basically that's what you're on. So, and what I mean by that is I'm making all that money and I'm at work all the time. For instance, I can't cook. So my health is not my number one priority, but so I'm eating out every day for breakfast, sometimes lunch and dinner, coffee. So probably spending anywhere between $20 and $30 a day. So I'm making money, but I'm spending it. Okay. Then if you're in an environment with people, not to say that you have to keep up with people, but you're in an environment where people hold themselves to a certain caliber, especially when it comes to your dress, especially if you're in a professional environment, you want to look the part, so to speak. So you're spending money on that. Yeah. Now, granted, there are ways, again, this is education. There are ways to get that kind of money back, to get something return on that. But even with that being said, it's not happening to the end of the year. But the point I'm making is you're working for all this, and the merry-go-round. Thank you, Shamir. That's exactly what I wanted. The carousel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And they got the fast one.
Okay. But that's what I mean. Like, you know, I work these jobs. I had this money, and I really don't have a whole lot to show for it. I mean, I had the experiences. I have some of the material stuff still. Some of the stuff I don't have. Unless you invest. Again, have somebody who... Casey's off the chain. Unless you invest and have somebody who is... You heard what she said.
Bad girl, bad.
Yeah, she's sweet though. But unless you have somebody who is
nice,
you know, who educates you on what to do, because that's the other thing. Education is key. Knowledge is power. People really say that all the time, but it is. And there's a lot of things that we as a people don't know. And I know me, I've been wandering through life just. And I'm not okay with that anymore. I'm not okay with, I talked to Casey about this, my other friend, Casey. I talked to Casey about this last night, how, you know, we are very similar. We have a very similar situation, have always done that. We've always related. And she was just like, she kind of feels like she's just been going through the motions all her life. And I absolutely feel that way. And I'm not comfortable with feeling like that anymore. And which is why I'm going to stop fucking pretending. I'm going to stop, be fucking real with everybody around me. I deserve it. I deserve happiness. And I'm not going to get there if I'm fake. I'm not going to get there. And it's not even the fake that normal people think of. It's like trying to put on airs to make everybody else comfortable. I'm not doing that no more. Not to say I'm going to be, you know, disregarding people, but I'm not going to do it anymore. If, you know, I am about to free myself. I'm about to take off those mental handcuffs because because it's not fair to myself. I'm not even giving myself a chance. Basically, people live all their lives with those on there, live their entire life with those on there. And most of those people die unhappy, alone, sick.
Yes, never get to go nowhere.
They never get to do anything.
Oh, you working all the time. But the ones can go, what they do, they enjoy themselves.
They enjoy themselves. They live life. And so it's very... Thank you, Kayla. Kayla said you deserve everything. Pamela said knowledge is power, but you have to be willing to learn and grow. And that is so true. And with the learn and the growing thing, growing can be uncomfortable. People always think that it's always a beautiful thing, but it can be uncomfortable. Like, and normally it is because you're moving from a place that you're used to being in. You're not there anymore.
You don't want to move, but you need to move. You need to move to grow.
If you're just coming into the video, guys, like up the video. So these are things that I'm changing. I'm absolutely going to change because it's not fair to me and fair to the people around me. Somebody else could be in that position that I'm in. And
I'm just getting to give you something to drink.
Okay. Can you warm mine up? No? You warm mine up when you're done?
Shit. I'm getting old, man. Getting old.
Oh, you can take it when you get over here. Yeah. My 8th grade teacher always encouraged us or reminded us after high school, go straight to college, because once you start getting money and working, you're not going to want to stop. That's true. Oh, yes. Pebble says it's called growing pains. No pain, no gain.
That's right.
Yes. So it's real, guys. And I'm in a whole different state in my life. Like, I'm willing to downsize. I'm willing to cut back. I'm willing to really get it popping because I don't give a crap about a lot of stuff anymore. I just want to be happy. That's important to me. I want to be happy. Obviously, I want to be successful. Obviously, I want to, exceed my dreams. But I want to be with you guys. I realize this is something that makes me happy. Even though YouTube is a lot of work, especially amongst the editing, I want to be happy. I'm not anywhere necessarily near where I need to start monetizing my channel. And so I'm really doing all of this for therapy for myself. And because I really fuck with you guys. Like I enjoy having conversation. I enjoy getting the feedback from you guys. You guys are very intelligent. You're very insightful. it's helpful to me, especially going through this transition with my mom.
Yes.
You guys see us smile, and we do love each other very deeply, but there's a lot of struggle on both of our ends to the ups and downs. It's struggle sometimes because we have to communicate. We have to get there. There have been many years that we have been apart, so it's imperative that we talk and that we communicate. There are things that we have had, misunderstandings or a disagreement about. And one thing my mom mentioned earlier this week, which made me feel really good, and it's not the first time I've ever heard that, but is that you could let me just hold this because it's a little shaky. Is that she appreciated me sitting down with her and discussing something. There was if there's an issue, she's familiar with people getting angry and just, I guess, leaving a situation or doing something wicked but at the end of the day,
about you behind your
talking
back.
about you. But if you love somebody, you don't do that. You talk about them to their face and then
let's work it out. Work it the fuck out.
Don't be rude, but you tell them how you feel, how what they're doing how it makes you feel. Don't hold that inside. Right. I had to break something else down for a young lady yesterday. I'm gonna get right into it, but I'm gonna get into this because
it needs to be said.
So.
And the uncomfortableness is hard to hear.
Okay, it is.
You need to hear it sometimes.
So I am a person who is, I'll say in high school, I was probably like, and I'm going to get into more of this soon because as you guys know, on Tuesday, I'm doing the first episode of my weight loss series, which is going to be mental health. But I've always been a thicker girl amongst my friends. But in high school, I was actually pretty thin. I wasn't a big girl. I was very active. Yeah. And even in college, we had our gym and I walked everywhere. So I wasn't, it's too hot. I can't. Oh. I walked everywhere. And so I have done, I wasn't huge, right? But I don't even know where I was going with that, y'all. That's the trip. But
there's a thin part when you was back
but there's something before that.
Well, you tell me what you was talking about for the next day when you pull up on
Oh, yes. Okay. I wanted to share about this young lady. To make a long story short, and we'll get into the details of this, but I was not secure about how I looked for a long time.
And it matters.
It matters. Come on, Emma, because I can't even really see you. Yeah, come on in. So no, it's okay. Yeah,
I'm here, y'all. Right beside her.
I want to see you too. Okay, they want to hear you too. So, I was very insecure about how I felt and what I looked like, and a lot of that also was from shame because I think fear and shame kind of intertwine. Especially when there's somebody who's encouraging you that. Or telling you that you are not enough or you are not where you need to be. And people used to, even in high school, tell me, oh, maybe you should lose a couple pounds. And these people were family and supposed to be people that loved on me. And there are so many ways that you can encourage good health with young people instead of telling them to lose weight. You can go and start being active with them, encourage them to do things, eat better with them, especially if you're in the household. Don't freaking tell a kid that they're fat or they need to lose weight. Cook better foods.
Yeah.
Lead by example, basically. Don't bring soda into the house. Don't do these things because children have to be guided. And if they see that or see you doing that, they're going to do exactly what you do. But don't get me started on that. The point I'm making is there was a long time I wasn't comfortable with my body. I definitely in high school, if I could find some pictures, I'll try to show you guys, but I definitely had the Aaliyah style. I wore big shirts, like 3 times my size sometimes. I wore like big pants, and sometimes I would wear like a girl jean, but it would still be oversized, and I would wear big shirts. And the first comfort I started to get into my body was with cheerleading, because with all the other sports and activities I did, I was able to wear bigger clothes. But with cheerleading, the outfits are pretty form-fitting. And I remember the first time I started showing my legs, I never wore shorts until I was I never wore shorts until I was a junior.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was cheerleading prior to my junior year, but the only time I would show my legs was in my skirt. And I will never forget, we were getting trained. We were at cheerleading camp. We were getting trained at drill camp for. Okay, stretch it out. Right. Stretch it out. All right, now sorry guys for the noise. We were getting trained, and the coach who was training me, she had won so many tournaments, world renowned, nationally famous, and she was like, "Whoa, Kate Warner, you have some beautiful legs," and I was like, "What?" She was like, "I've never seen legs like that beautiful. You just hide them all the time." Because when I would work out, when I would cheer, I would have my cheerleading skirt on, and I would have like sweats underneath. Because we always had cheerleading sweats too. And she would be like, "If you don't take them legs out, you can't tumble. You can't put people up." Because a lot of people don't realize in these type of sports, gymnasts, ballet, pole, cheerleading, it's not just about being, about showing skin. You really need to be in those outfits for comfort and for the practicality of what you're practicing. Yeah, right. So I started to become comfortable with myself then, but still was kind of, no, not so much. I'm not going to show too much.
Comfortable with yourself, because people talk about fat people. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, talk about thicker girls and whatever. So I would not feel comfortable. And then again, one day, I'll never forget, really, one day we were at an away game and I had forgotten my bloomers. That's what they call like the bottoms that you would put under your cheerleading skirt so people wouldn't see your panties. And so you would put your panties on and then put your bloomers on top. And I forgot them. And my cheerleading coach had said something like, "You can't," because we weren't performing. I wasn't tumbling. So all I was doing was sitting in the bleachers and cheering. So I was like, "Oh," she was like, "No, you're going to dress out tonight, because without those bloomers, you're just going to be shaking everywhere. And you're too fat to not wear bloomers. If you were a size 2 or size 4, you could not wear them." And so I didn't even think anything was wrong with what she said. I was just like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Okay." And I set out for that game. And I actually got in trouble because I did not have my bloomers. So anyway, going into college, I carried that same energy. When I interacted with guys, even when guys would really be like, "Yo, I really want to like rock with you," I didn't necessarily believe them. I would be like, "What you got going on? You don't really, you just want to, you want to take advantage of a big girl. You want to get your kicks, your rocks off." But that always wasn't the case. Some of them were really genuine, but I wasn't able to receive it. Right. Okay. And so now pushing forward, 2020, I've done a lot of self-work on myself. I have friends that are plus size. My friends are amazing. Yes. And a lot of my friends have encouraged me to own my sexuality, to be proud of who I am as a woman. And so I am much more comfortable with my body now. I'm much more comfortable with my body now. And so when it comes to showing myself, I'm confident about it. And this young lady yesterday, this is the whole situation. Self-love. This young lady yesterday, she was like, "Well, what are you wearing to the party, blah, blah, blah." And I told her, I'm wearing a low cut gown, so my breasts will be exposed. But I was really talking to her about my bra. My bra didn't work out because I wear a size 40H. And I normally, like you guys probably have seen my Brassy bra review on the channel. When I use a Brassy bra, I actually had really good results, but I had bought like the triple D size. Well, I bought the wrong size. So it didn't work out last night. So I low-key had to go just roll with it. And so I was all natural. And I mean, my breasts are not saggy, but they're big. And so when they're big, they are heavy. So they're going to have a natural, pull. So it is what it is. And I rocked with it.
Hello.
And so her response to what I said was, "Oh, you like attention."
Not at all.
Crickets.
I get attention.
I said, I get attention with my clothes on. It's not about attention. It's about comfort. Me owning my sexuality, feeling comfortable with being sexy, being unapologetic. Like, I'm going to tell you something I don't like. I love for a woman to cover up if that makes her feel good and confident. If she feels like she wants to do that because she feels better like that, do that. But if you don't feel like that and you judge other women who do other things,
Save the drama.
Save it. It's not just because it's not something you like.
So you stay that way.
That's right. You stay that way. Constantly. Listen, I know another woman who, she's sexy. She's a sexy woman. She doesn't expose herself a lot. She's gorgeous. She looks great. And as I told you guys, I was raised in a Muslim household. So I'm familiar with modesty, right? I understand. I have seen tons of Muslim women wrapped up just like Ma, totally wrapped up, just their beautiful eyes showing, or their whole face covered, but their face is beat, makeup to the gods, looking good, looking gorgeous. I would never tell a person, oh, that's weird, or you don't look good. However, it grinds my gears when those people are judgmental about women who decide that they do want to show their bodies. Like, I do understand if it is a religious aspect where you're like, I just don't feel comfortable seeing women like that. But when it's kind of like, oh, you don't got to show your body for attention. You don't got to show your body to do this. Shut up. Because they're not doing that for that. They're probably doing it for themselves. They've been suppressed all their lives and told not to do this because it's nasty or whatever. And now they're not in that position. A great example of that is Nakia. I don't know if you heard her tell her story. No, but Nakia was also plus size. And she was always a beautiful girl. But she was plus size, big. Right. And she got a lot of family and friends always telling her about her weight, always talking to her about her weight. She even talked about her parents. Her father would talk about her weight. And so because she was a daddy's girl, it really affected her psyche and the men she chose and the things she did. And so now she poles. And as I said, there are a lot of things you can't do. You cannot pole and be wearing a spandex or be wearing pants because your legs literally need to stick to the pole, your skin. So now that she poles, people see her and they're like, oh my God, she's always showing. Save it, put it up. And it's like, you sound ignorant. Like, what is the problem? Why are you so uncomfortable? If you're uncomfortable, you can leave the person's page. You could not support them. But you're still on the page watching, sis. So clearly you like it too.
All right, now.
Let me see. I know y'all are talking to me, so I'm about to just pause for a second.
Do your thing.
Okay?
Do your damn thing now.
Self-education is, Shamira said, self-education is operative to life. We live in the informal age. You can access almost any and every academia knowledge to an Ivy League depth if you desire. We have no excuses. Facts, sis, and I love that. We have no excuses. We have to do better. You got to make time to educate yourself. You have to make time to become aware. You want to be self-aware. Let me tell you something I struggle with more than anything else, somebody who is not self-aware. I went to or just deals with that. There are two incidents I can tell you. One was at a Cheesecake Factory. Me and a young lady went out to eat, and the guy, unfortunately, he wasn't our waiter because I would have been so frustrated and he would give me so much anxiety. But this guy was there waiting on the table next to us. The black guy, very sweet. I could tell he was bubbly. He was really into his job, which was dope. He was waiting on a Caucasian couple, which they seemed pretty conservative, pretty chill. They seemed like nice people, but he kept making like jokes that were inappropriate and laughing a lot and spending extra time at the table and just kind of kept coming back. And you could physically see them like cringing or looking around or looking at each other. And I'm at a nearby table and could see this. So the fact that he kept going in with it, it let me know that he was not socially aware. I also worked with a coworker like that. Like he would be making jokes and saying things and you could tell people were over it, but they didn't want to be mean because they thought he was nice, but they just were like, this is not good. You cannot go through life like that. Another one, which is actually very interesting. I was told a story recently by a professional who said that she has someone on her team who struggles with self-awareness. Very nice guy, but basically he recently met like the CEO of their company. And the CEO was really down to earth. So, the CEO was talking to him and was like, give me a call if you ever have any questions. Well, one day, this particular guy has a question, and it was a pretty simple question. It was about his time off. He could have went to HR with it, or he could have went directly to his boss, which would have been a more appropriate point of contact. But what do you think he did, guys? You're right. He emailed the CEO of his company about time off. That's self-awareness. Like, You didn't have to do that. And I mean, what the professional told me is that the CEO was kind enough to actually answer his question. But what happened was she CC'd a couple other people on the email, and other people who would have probably been a better point of contact initially. And so it came down the pipeline of why is this person talking to this person? So self-awareness is real. And education and just being, yeah. Let's see here. Kayla said facts. Growing and realizing, Casey said, growing and realizing your own fear actually takes a lot of strength, as you have to look at yourself and realize what you can do better, at what you need more of, and what you can let go. What you can let go. That's it.
Yes.
Pebble said facts, Shamira. Yes, Casey.
Yes.
Thanks, Pebble. Yes, we encourage each other together. We do. Kayla said, love you, BM. I support you, BM. Thank you so much. That really means everything. People said, yes, I'm a very open and honest person. Some people can't handle the truth, and that's true. But we won't get anywhere masking. We won't get nowhere masking nothing.
That's how you say it.
Okay, it is. It really is how you say it.
That's how you say it.
Okay. Yeah. So Shamira said exactly. That is rude. Talking about the children, when you tell children that they're not looking good. Yeah, I feel you. I hated my body also. I have a huge booty. I used to wear baggy pants and put a jacket around it in school. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I had to stop talking to this young lady. Casey said, that was Pebbles who said, yes, big booty Pebs.
Ain't nothing wrong with that booty, girl.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little booty.
All right, pop it.
Casey said, yeah, I had to stop talking to this young lady. Gosh, I'm sore right here. I must have hit myself last night somewhere. When you be getting drunk, sometimes you wake up all kind of feeling, oh God. Okay. Probably.
He was a little unbalanced, y'all, but it's okay.
I'm unbalanced anyway. My balance is terrible. Yeah, I had to stop talking to this young lady. I tried to get to know because she always thought I had a motive on being with her because she was bigger. And in actuality, I love thick women.
Isn't that? Didn't I tell you that?
You did.
Didn't I tell you that?
You did. You did.
Gotta go who love you, baby.
Hey, it was they.
Who love you. They love you. And that's what's up.
Okay, you better speak in tongues. I love when women are confident in the skin they're in, something so sexy about it. And that's all it's about.
Got to be.
That's all it's about. Let me tell you something. People are heavily bothered. People are heavily bothered by Lizzo posting all of her pictures and her bikinis and her nudes. I don't give a flying fuck. I think it's fantastic.
If you don't like it, turn
If
off
it was a skinny girl, y'all would not even say anything. She's not doing anything that nobody else does. I'm telling you.
Everybody else do the same thing.
If you don't like her, unfollow her. She's going to post what she wants to do. That is the issue. But let me tell you something about confidence, baby.
It works. It
works. Feel good in what you're doing.
It bring people towards you because you are comfortable in your own skin.
That's right. That's right.
Be proud of who you are. That's it, and that's all, folks.
Pebble said, once you've become comfortable with yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Hello, somebody.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. So Casey said, this reminds me of the Lizzo basketball game incident. I'm like, let that girl live. Facts. That's what I was just saying. But Lizzo, since the beginning, and that's another thing, like people, oh my gosh, people will try to put you in their box. Lizzo been on this. Yeah, before she got real popularity, that she wasn't there, but there's probably a reason why.
You go ahead. I know you back.
Okay, all right. That's probably a reason why. You need me to get up? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You need to put your brace on, probably.
It's on. Let's believe that.
Oh, it's on. Okay. So this reminds me of the Lizzo basketball game incident. I'm like, let that girl live. Yes, Casey. Super facts. Hey, I'm late. Hey, Jana. Let me move this because mine keeps on kicking the cat food and I ain't time. Let's see if we can move out of the way quick. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, that'll be better. She gonna think she got some food over here. That's okay, baby. That is okay. Better late than never. Okay. But yeah, it's very real. And so fear, those people have fear. They're uncomfortable with their bodies. Something else I want to say. A lot of times when people are upset or hating on you, oh, she's fine. She has to use the bathroom. She's all right. A lot of times when people are hating on you or upset about what you're doing, it's because they want to do it. And they're mad that they don't have the guts or the gumption to do it themselves. And I know that to be a fact because, again, just to go back to the polling situation, Nakia, she is not what you normally would see on the poll. Now, she's actually slimmed down a lot. She's toned a lot now, but people are very ugly and mean, and they will say things about what you're doing. They will be very okay. No, okay. They will be very judgmental about what you have going on, but in reality, they want to do it, and they're mad that they can't. They're mad that they won't push themselves enough. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's all about what they're doing because they could. They're just not doing it, right? Which leads me right into toxicity. Toxic people, friends, family, work environments, which we kind of already touched on. How do you guys handle toxicity? And do you do anything with those type of situations? I'll go ahead and start. There was a family member of mine that I had to separate myself from. I guess it's been like 7 or 8 years now. No, maybe not quite that long, but it's been at least 5 years since I really have given her the time to sit, listen, share. But there was all my life, I was very, very, get you in here. All my life, I cared a lot about what she thought. I gave her a lot of my energy. I shared a lot of things with her. And in reality, she was not really pure in the way she handled me. She was very dishonest about a lot of things. And it affected me in such a great way. But I didn't realize it until years later, right? So I decided to separate myself because she would incite feelings in me. The anger was so intense. I mean, you look back at friends and family that when you've been around them, you just can think about all the bad things that have happened to you in their presence. And you're like, yo, how did it take me this long to connect all these dots? But my first molestation, because I've been sexually abused a couple times, but my first sexual abuse at 5 years old happened with this person in this person's home. That was really impactful to me. That wasn't even the reason why I decided not to talk to her. It was just things I realized in therapy. One of the things, though, that made me not talk to her, I realized just how much of a dishonest person she was. She's one of those people who likes to call out other people's errors and talk about what other people are doing, but never takes accountability for her own or talks about what she's doing. I don't like those kind of people at all because I'm normally the first one to tell you when I messed up. So I like for people to take accountability if they need help or if they say, I don't know. I would prefer that because you can't give me no advice or tell me what to do if you're not succeeding or you're not excelling in that. But she's one of those people. She's very judgmental. She always wants to cast out other people's errors and other people's flaws. She never wants to address her own. She literally has created severs in family members. And what I mean by that, so that way she could be closer to a family member, if that makes sense. So I'll give you an example. She will tell one family member, oh, this person said that about you, right? And especially if she's telling me that, because there were things that she told me that family members said about me, right? And because I trusted her, because we had I really looked at this person like a mother. She was certainly like a mother figure, but when I look back, she never did anything for me. It was all talk. Like she would promise to buy things for me, promise to do things for me, and I would just be excited off of the promise. Even though it never was fulfilled, I still loved her. I still went to her. I still shared with her. And, but So this is a woman I trust. I'm talking to her about some incidents happening, and she tells me, oh, yes, this person said this about you, or that's probably why they said that, but I wouldn't worry about it. They this, they that. So she's, in reality, again, her fears, she has experiences with these people, and she's projecting her experiences on me. Oh, this is how they are. Yeah, this is what they said. So as a child, I just accepted it. Years later, I don't know what came over me, but something did come over me. And I decided to go to these family members myself. And I was very humble because obviously I thought they disliked me. So I went to them and I was like, listen, I want to tell you that anything you've done for me, anything that you've ever extended to me, I really appreciated it. I'll tell you that one of my struggles has been like connections. And I'll go, like I said, I'll go into more of my mental health stuff on Monday. Tuesday in my live Tuesday night. But so both of them, it was two particular family members that she told me disliked me and told me stories about why they disliked me. Both of them were so perplexed. They were like, Bam, we didn't care about none of that stuff. And what are you talking about? Who told you that? Now, this is like roughly about 7-8 years in the making. I'm thinking this. And at this point, me and this family member's relationship has already been questioned, but I'm still kind of rocking with her. My father got out of prison. It was my 28th birthday. Yeah, he got out of prison in November. My birthday's at the end of December, so right before my 28th birthday, and he started sharing things with me that I never knew about, obviously my mother, about this family member, about how he really like supported that family member. And he was in awe to see for himself, to hear the things, how she had treated his child while he was away. And, him being present, she couldn't really do me like what she was doing before. Now, obviously my father was trying to get himself together. So he couldn't do but so much, financially or whatever the case may be, but his presence was respected. My father's very respected in Brooklyn. And so, he had the things he needed, and he's been able to help me out when he could, right? And do things for me. And he's honestly done more for me in his short period being released from prison than that lady has done for me all my life. And honestly, at the time, especially that my mom had done for me. So I really had put him in a place where I was like, okay, even though we're growing, you've done more for me than a lot of people I've known all my life. So it's like, I can't even be mad. But he really shed light and exposed that family member and her toxicity. And I just decided it ain't what I want. You put me, every time I come around, if I feel depleted, if I'm upset, and the type of person that don't never want you to be around nobody else. Telltale sign. They don't never want you to be with nobody else. They want you to always be with them. They always playing the victim. Manipulation city. I don't fuck with manipulators. I don't, and I can see it a mile away. So I'm telling you right now, don't try it, boy. Okay. So let me see. What Casey said. When I was in high school, when I was a sophomore in high school, I came out to my twin brother one day. He asked me why I never dressed the way I wanted or told people I was gay. He said, you won't find anyone unless you're truly yourself. You're your true yourself. And I said, you know what? You're right. Been out ever since. Facts. Okay. I don't encourage toxic people, but I welcome it because I'd rather see you for exactly who you are. So I can know what I'm dealing with than to be shady behind my back. So I can know how to move and when I'm near you. That is a fact. That is a fact. The problem is a lot of them are imposters. A lot of them play victims. A lot of them manipulate you for a long time. So if you're not, going back to self-awareness, if you're not self-aware, if you're not educated, if you don't know what's going on, once I came in contact with other people like her, once I learned of actual disorders and things, because first of all, she has a ton of trauma in her life. So let's talk about that. People who have been traumatized but have never done any trauma work. So she has a ton of trauma in her life, and she has found ways to cope with it that are not healthy. Drugs, people, conniving, she's very dysfunctional. And So a lot of her stuff is, I don't even know sometimes, but she knows she's doing it because a lot of her stuff is so blatant to me, but she don't see no error in her ways, of course. So that's that. Shamir said she's all ears listening. Casey said that's called deflection. Pardon me, sorry guys. Put your insecurities and problems, frustrations on other people so you don't have to deal with it on your own. True, Casey. Shamir, exactly. She playing chess with people that live in shame. Facts. Hey, only the family YT. I'm doing well. They should have an audio message feature on here. It would be dope. It would be dope if they had audio message. Right. Me too. Yes. They have this on YouTube now, or an app or something where you put it in the chat. Oh, that's cool. Subscribers can come on the chat with you, and that's cool. Yeah, if y'all don't know what that is, drop that. But it's crazy because I really dealt with that I dealt with it a long time because I did not know what was going on. And I think my father had made a good point that I didn't feel like I had a choice. I didn't have choices. I felt like this woman really cared for me and really, loved me and did the best for me. And honestly, if she did feel like she was doing that, God bless her, because she didn't. She caused a lot of drama, and she, in turn, I know what I was going to say. In turn, she has really affected a lot of people's lives, and that's what really allowed me and made me comfortable separating from her, because I was able to see the people that she has affected and how they are, and like all of her children have, issues with some way or another, and nobody wants to put their stuff on Front Street. Nobody wants people to know that their lives are dysfunctional or that their mother is dysfunctional. But the reality is, I put myself on Front Street because I feel like that's how I'm gonna heal. I don't feel like I can heal if I don't tell people what the fuck is really going on, or let people know where I'm at. That's good. But hurt people do hurt people. It's really wild because I just started to see that the people around her were not successful. They weren't going anywhere. They all kind of were in the same positions they were in and still are. None of them have grown. I mean, it's 10 plus years and nothing again to show from it. In the same spaces, same skills, same, everything. People are just getting sick. And it's like, how do you live like that? How do you live when you aren't growing? How do you live when you don't have anything to look forward to? Which is why people get stuck in drugs and all kinds of things. I'll tell you guys that this person that I'm talking about has a substance abuse issue. And obviously, my mom has a substance abuse issue. And one of the things she would constantly do is always let people know that my mom, Tima's in there getting high, or how she does. She's blah, blah, blah. For years, this is something that happened. She would even talk to me about my mother, like, oh yeah, she out there, she doing this, she doing that, which is why I felt more connected to her, because I was like, oh, you're more honest, you're taking care of all your kids, you're here with me right now. In reality, she was doing the same things. She just had a little bit more control. My mom is one of those people. Remember, I told you guys about the people in the fire. I'm one of those people who can feel the fire and I back up. And she's one of those people who, she got to put her hand on the fire. So she was that person. This family member was probably more like me in that regard, which is why I was, attracted to her in that way. But the truth is, she did all the same stuff that my mom did. I mean, in her own way, in her own thing. So it's like, you don't got no right to be trying to expose nobody when you have your own struggles. But it's crazy. Let me see. What y'all talking about? Shamira said, all negative vibes must go. You don't have to sacrifice your mental health for another soul's life lessons. Give them space to learn and protect your light. Pray for them from a distance. And that's what I did. And at first, I think when we first separated, when things started being revealed to me, they were always there. I want to make that clear too. They were always there, but I just never paid attention to them. And I think it was because I didn't want to accept it. But even when my grandmother was passing, y'all, this is about to get real deep. But even when my grandmother was passing, she was in her last couple of days. There was some incidents surrounding this person, and that person, my grandmother went into the hospital based on an incident kind of surrounding the person. She wasn't the reason for it, but she certainly was a factor in the incident. My grandmother had fallen. Now she had cancer, but she had come out of her rehab. And because of the circumstances at that time in New York, Hurricane Sandy had hit. And so everybody was kind of stuck wherever they were when the incident occurred. And so my grandmother happened to be at this family member's house, and there were a lot of people there. My grandmother had paid, and it was a big ordeal because she was like, oh, well, even though you paid, everybody has to be here. And it was just a lot of misunderstanding type stuff. It sounded to me like I wasn't present, so I can't really speak on it. I think my mom was present, but I wasn't present. So my grandmother left, like right low key, right in the right. It still Hurricane Sandy was going on, but the eye had passed. So she left. And she went back to where she was living. Now, where she was living at the time, she had to go down really steep stairs. And so she fell going down those stairs, and then it was put into the hospital, and she never came out. And she actually ended up dying in that hospital. Now, when she was on her deathbed, she was in there for about 2 weeks prior to passing. And when she was dying, and I think my grandmother was very aware of what was happening to her, she had a very dialogue conversation with me. I had moved back to New York at this time. I was already back in New York, and we would talk while I was on my breaks at work and things. And she had a very detailed conversation about this particular family member with me. And of course, I was still in my fog. So I was like, Grandma, and at the time she was Mommy, because I always call my grandmother Mommy growing up. And I'll get into that later if I have not addressed that yet. But I'm like, Mommy, you got to let that go. You got to focus on healing. You got to focus on getting better. Like, I don't want you to just be worried about her. And in reality, I did a lot of taking up for the family member because I still very much loved her and wanted, my grandmother not to be angry with her. I'm like, I don't know why you're always like this. And one of the last things that my grandmother said to me on the phone that day was, I'm not going to be nice to anyone who's not nice to me. She said that. And then she went on further to say, and in my afterlife, I will make sure that person knows what they've done to me. I don't know what she meant by that. I don't know what she was saying. If she was saying that she'll make sure that, I really don't know. But I know at the time, I kind of was like, what? Like, man, you're really consumed with this hate. That's how I was feeling. Like, you're really consumed with this. But she was really to the point, because this family member and her have always had issues. But I think ultimately she's loved her deep down inside. My grandmother has loved her so deeply, but had such a hard time communicating with her. And I think that was kind of like the last straw that incident that occurred. And at the time, even immediately after her passing, again, I'm still rocking with this family member. Hear me out here. Hear me out. I'm still rocking with her. It wasn't until some 2 years later, 3 years later, that I stopped rocking with her. So I say that to say that everybody gets it when they need, because really my grandmother was trying to tell me and my mom for years. And again, it doesn't mean that this family member is, the worst person alive. But what it does mean is that she needs to get some help. She needs to talk to somebody. She needs to see some of the stuff that she has going on. That is not to say that I'm perfect, but I've done work and I'm still doing work. I know that I need help. I know that I'm not 100% right. I know that I'm imbalanced. You know what I mean? Trauma will do that to you. And if you're not working through your trauma, it's going to have you in that position. So that is the situation there. Trauma, yeah, the one where you said, okay, I'll talk about that. Mom, okay, she disappeared. I think she's okay. I heard her on the phone. I think she has a phone call. I'm gonna go check on her in a second. But I hate to be rude, but I have to run to the gym. I will be back in another live soon. Okay, bye, Shamira. Go get that workout in, girl. Thank you so much for all of your positivity, Shamira, and have a great workout, sis. A wolf in sheep clothing, that is a fact, Casey. My grandmother on my mom's side, who raised me, calls my mom because my mom was always working. She passed 6 months before my girlfriend. I was telling you in 2006, that was a hard year for me. I say that to say that these people will prey on you in your weakest moments, especially when when you're vulnerable and open to any love that you can get in that moment. And that is a fact. That's a fact. So I became stronger and I became aware of what was going on. I wasn't tolerating the mistreatment anymore. My mom was still kind of stuck in it. I really wasn't trying to convince her of anything because I was just trying to save myself at that point. I wasn't trying to convince my mom of anything. I was just trying to save myself. But it was interesting to see my family member see the pull away, like recognize that I was no longer being controlled by her. She almost lost control. Like when you see this stuff, y'all, it is morning, Jay. Hey, baby, I miss you. Oh my gosh, Jay vibes, bless me. I love you. But when I started pulling away from her, this lady, she started to be like crazy, y'all. Like I remember one time I went to go see my mom, and she lived on the same block as my mom, and it became a whole ordeal. They tried to fight me. Like, they tried to fight me. My dad was in the car. And, my father, he's on probation. He just got out of prison. So, it's like things could change so quickly. Something could happen. And it's like I put him in that situation to have to come out and make sure I was okay. Nothing happened. Nobody got physical. But it was very, very aggressive. It was a lot of cursing, yelling. My mom was so uncomfortable. She was like, at the time, she was in a place where, obviously she was using. And she also was like, and I'm talking to her and I'm just wanting her to defend me because that was the whole thing. All these years, there was no defense on my side. I was always defending myself, but she was also being abused at the time. So how could I expect somebody who can't even defend themselves to defend me? So it was a lot of crap. I can't wait to see you, Jay. I can't wait. Anyway. Yeah, so it's just a lot of shit. And she just like low key lost control. And then for many, like I think I want to say a year and a half, 2 years after that, she would always ask my mom, why isn't she talking to me? What's wrong? What did I do? Why doesn't she talk to me? And I did end up seeing her in 2017 at a family barbecue thing. And I spoke and she was like, I love you, right? I love you. And I was like, yeah, I recognize you probably do. I don't know if you know really what love is because the way you made me feel all these years is not love. She has a way about her, y'all. It's deep. It's like, but if somebody is making you feel depleted when you're around them, if somebody is making you feel like you are not worth, I can't even explain it, but fuck that. They ain't for you. They not with you. They not real, period. Okay. But what I will say is I was angry for many years. Many, many years. Okay, she's coming back, y'all. They've been asking about you. They've been asking about you. They said, is she okay?
Live and direct, I'm back. Bathroom break. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me find out you moving. That must be that tea. I ate some tea that I gave you yesterday. I don't know. But when someone is, I was really, really angry with this family member for a really long time. I'm talking about like livid. And it's because she would put my mother and me against each other. That's how I felt. Now, I'm not saying that was her initial intention.
I missed some stuff.
You missed a lot. I done talked about a lot. But, Pebble said, welcome back, Mama.
Peace. I'm glad to be back.
Hashtag big period.
Situation for a minute.
Okay, big period. Yes, Jay, big period. But, to make a long story short, get your big mama in. But
is your water?
Yes, my water. It's good too.
I told you I did that, right?
Mm-hmm. Jay said, "Oh yes, Mama."
All right, Mama making it happen.
So this particular family member, I was really angry with her for a while because I felt like she was putting me and my mom against each other. Now, granted. Imagine, you haven't been around your child or your mother, and there's this other person in between that claims that they know both parties, better than each party knows each other. So that person's spreading messages, that person's carrying stuff. You're sharing with that person. and really they're devising their own
plan.
They got their own motives, right? So it made me very angry because, you know, oftentimes how my mom would react to me about different things that we were handling or different things we were doing was totally out of pocket, I felt. And she was reacting based off the things that she knew about me, which were not, a lot of them were not true, but
and
what
I
she
didn't
thought.
know much after she came down and what was going on inside. So it's only on a note, but same way back in the other part. You understand? She didn't know me, so she didn't know what they saying to me is righteous.
Right. So I didn't know, like I said, when I was young, a lot of those things that were being said to me about my mom, I just took it for what it was. I thought it was true.
Yeah.
No, that stuff was true. And even though I don't have a way to prove that for sure, I know because I have caught her in other things. I've caught this family member dishonesty in other ways. The point I'm making, I want to make this about me and Ma, though, not just about her. The point I'm making is that her doing that, going back and forth, telling her, oh, you don't know Bambi, she's like this. Oh, she's conniving, or she's a liar, or she's a user, oh, she's this, she's this, she's this, she's this.
Mistrust my own baby.
Right. So then that would create energy and for her to attack me like, oh, what you doing? Oh, I don't know what you got going on. So it's like, that's one of the biggest things that we're working on now is our trust.
Yes, and it matters because it's haven't been there, so it's scary.
Yes, it is. It's very scary. And so I was very angry at that family member for a long time because of that, because I felt like, how dare you? What's wrong with you? You claimed all these years you wanted me and my mom to like get right, but in reality, you didn't. You wanted to be. I think her biggest issue, it might be money. I don't know, but I think her biggest issue is she wanted to look like the savior. She wanted to look like the good, wonderful savior. But in reality, like,
you ain't saving nobody.
You ain't saving nobody.
You're being not nice.
Right. It's not being nice. And so, but I'm very grateful and I'm thankful to say that I'm thankful to say that I'm no longer angry, that I am in a place of healing, and I am praying for her, and I hope that she gets what she needs. I don't wish any harm on her, but I know what's up. So she can't run that type of game on me no more. That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's where it's at. So, and Casey said the enemy work in a crazy way and will put against each other. The
crazy thing is not enemy. It's not an enemy.
But
it's
well,
love.
she know that, but. No, she's saying the enemy. That's devil. That ain't the enemy is the devil. That's devil's work. That is not love.
Oh, wow.
Okay. The enemy were put against each other just to but there's self in the middle, just to put theirself in the middle so they can seem to say saving grace. I didn't even read that. And Casey, you said exactly what it was. And I think that's a struggle that you still have because my mom and her have a very loving relationship. And my mom very much loves her, period. And I still love her, but I love her from a distance. I'm okay because I struggle with it. I had so much pain and struggle with it.
Me too.
And I'm at peace with it. But my mom still struggles with it, and she's on her own journey with it. Like even just now when you said enemy, she's like, "Oh, she's not an enemy. She's not an enemy.
Not at all.
But she is." If you're against someone, if you're telling someone negative lies about your child, directly, about yourself, about me, that's enemy work. That ain't no love.
You don't do things like that
to people you love.
Period. You try to help them and keep them stronger.
Yeah. Let them know what's really good.
Even in your own life, even in your own
But what it boils down to is there always an ulterior motive for self. And when that happens, that's also enemy work. That ain't nothing righteous. That's self-righteous. If you're doing work for someone else.
Self-righteous. I like the way you put it.
It is. Because if you're doing work for someone else, you say, I want to help you get clean. So right now, if I say, I want to help you get clean, right? And I'm working things out with you, whatever. And then I go out to the public and I'm like, telling everybody what's going on, telling them me because I want
seem ugly.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Because I want them to praise.
I get with you. Everything's all right. We rocking now.
Yeah.
But rocking back and forth. Because it's not a good feeling.
I want people to praise me. I want them to be like, oh, bless your heart. Look at you for doing that. I talked to another.
But I couldn't come out of it. It was my own fault as well. But
you have to take accountability. For
of course you do. Of course you do.
Yeah.
Okay, but people can play on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But and to kind of switch gears, but talk about the self-righteousness.
Yeah.
I was talking to another young lady whose whose father passed away when she was younger, and her mother took care of her father. Her father was older when they actually met, and he already had ailments. He was sick, and her mother almost has like some resentment, like type towards her kids and towards the situation, like. You know, and I understand, like, you could be angry because your partner has left and you're like, oh, you know, I wanted him to be here. It's a selfish thing and it's common. It's common. But I think for me, when I look at somebody,
everything.
When I look at somebody who is genuine, who wants to care for somebody, who's a caregiver because out of love, it ain't like that. And that's why I know that's self-righteousness. You want people to look at you and say, gosh, you know, Fatima, you did a great job with taking care of this person, and you bless your heart. In reality, ain't none of that necessary. I mean, it's sweet, but that's self-righteous. That's what you want. It's like that.
So that they can move
psychology or sociology majors or people who are into that. Tell me what that is called. What disorder that is called? God
damn it!
It's not narcissism though. Not that. It's like Munchinsism by proxy. I know that's with the kids.
Oh my God! But you don't have to be with kids to get Munchinsism.
No. But the by proxy part is kids. The Munchinsism is when you want. Actually, I'm gonna look at it right now because I'm not gonna even try to get too long in here.
Okay, please do because
Munchin. But it's when you. But some narcissism might be in there too because you want. You know,
you want your praise and bring your praise in. Yeah, your praise is due to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree. Stop.
Yeah. And if you're doing what you need to do anyway, it's gonna happen. So this specifically might not be it, but Munchinsism is a facetious disorder, a mental disorder in which a person repeatedly and deliberately acts as if he or she has a physical or mental illness when he is not really sick. And by proxy is when you're caring for someone and you're making them sicker, so people can look at you and basically be like the savior. So in a way, that party, even though they're not physically putting the drugs down you, they're not physically giving you the stuff. Sometimes that was the case, but physically they are Munchinsism. They want to keep you sick so they can continue to control the situation, so they can look like the savior. Mm-hmm. That's what that's about. Okay. I know one of the disorders that family member has is codependency. She's codependent on other people, and I think one of those people was my mom, and my mom is codependent on her, which is why she has those strong feelings of conflict. Because you know that something doesn't make you feel good, but it makes you feel bad because you feel like you're letting your person down. But just as what did she say earlier? Shamira said,
like.
Yeah.
Wow.
She said, all negative vibes must go. Here you go. I want to read this to you.
All right.
She said, all negative vibes must go. You don't have to sacrifice your mental health for another soul's life lessons. Give them space to learn and protect.
Oh my God, it's so real. But you want to help them too.
Listen,
it's so true.
Give them space to learn and protect your light. Pray for them from a distance. But the fact that we need to know is that we cannot help people when we are damaged. We have to help ourselves first before you can help someone else. And so that's the issue with me. I'm always trying to help and be a healer. And I can do that because it's a part of who I am. But I can't do it until I'm well, until I'm balanced.
Exactly.
So, you should definitely. You should definitely. Casey says she still have to have love for ones that have wronged you, but it's hard. It's the right thing to do and strong thing to do, and you'll feel better about yourself. Yeah.
But I still have to heal first.
Yeah, you have to, and really, honestly, pray. And honestly, codependency is a very interesting disorder because the people keep each other sick.
They keep me sick. Sorry.
Yeah, the people keep each other sick. And I want to look up that next because
I can't. They don't know the strength.
Yeah, so codependent is characterized characterized by excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a
crown the show.
Hold on, let me just talk. You can cry. Codependency is characterized by excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner, typically one who requires support on account of an illness or addiction. A person with excessive emotional or psychological reliance. What does it mean to be codependent? Codependency is characterized by a person belonging to a dysfunctional one-sided relationship where one person relies on the other one for meeting nearly all of their emotional and self-esteem needs. So that
I don't need that.
No, you're not.
My own self-esteem.
No, but you do, because you need. It's not self-esteem. It's not self-esteem.
Be careful.
No, you're not. You have to listen. You have to listen.
All right.
Everything is not necessarily the same. Self-esteem, that's just like one aspect. It could be you not wanting to see pain in her.
Right.
You're dependent on that.
I hate it.
So signs of codependency include having difficulty making decisions in the relationship, having difficulty identifying your own feelings, having difficulty communicating in the relationship, valuing the approval of others. That's where you are. You value the approval of others more than valuing yourself. Yeah, and that is a part of codependency.
It's so fucking healthy for me.
The other part that I was explaining was her part of the codependency. Oh, you understand?
I got it.
So listen to everything.
But it makes me weak.
But your part of the codependency is valuing her approval because you do want her to feel better. You want her to feel okay. Lacking trust in yourself and having poor self-esteem. So you lack trust in yourself, but the self-esteem you feel good about. You feel good about
it. I can be me.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But it's not a good feeling at all.
Codependent behavior, taking responsibility for someone else's actions, worrying or carrying the burden for others' problems, covering up to protect others from reaping the consequences of their poor choices, doing more than is required to earn approval. That's why I said I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
Yes, baby.
I know.
She hitting on something now, y'all.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
She hitting on something now. I'm feeling that. People
put a lot of, and I know a lot of people will talk about narcissism, but the reason I said it's not narcissism is because narcissism, the psychology is extreme selfishness with a grandiose view of one's own talents and craving for admiration.
No, that's not it.
It's not.
It's not. Not at all.
That is like Andrew Cunanan who killed Versace. The guy, he was a narcissist.
Wow.
He had an idea that he was someone he wasn't. He had a grandeur look on who he was. Psychoanalysis, self-centeredness arising from failure to distinguish the self from external objects, either in a very young babies or a mental disorder. So it's not narcissist.
It's some part of it, though.
It's pieces. There's pieces there, but I think everybody has pieces of narcissism in them.
Yeah.
But it's when it becomes excessive that it's like a problem in the disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight up.
Story.
Yeah. There was this guy. This is totally it's still related, but there was this guy who did he basically painted a picture for all the mental disorders, and it was like images of these monsters, but it was like all the different disorders. It was powerful.
That's deep.
I'm gonna try to find that. Yeah, but
that's what's up.
There are so many disorders, but most of the common ones are clinical depression, which we already know. Most of us know what depression is. Anxiety disorder. We know what anxiety. I also have anxiety. Bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed with that when I was in New York, actually in 2011. They said I was on like a low scale, but they said it was just due to my environment.
And you got the right people too, because people tell you all kind of stuff.
Dementia, a group of thinking and social symptoms that interferes with daily function. Attention deficit or hyperactive disorder, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I struggle with some of that a little bit as well. Autism, which is OCD, of course. Autism, post-traumatic stress disorder. I also have that. So it's a lot. Eating disorders, psychotic disorders, schizophrenia. I think I may have said that already. But
all right.
The point I'm making is that a lot of these disorders are like things that people just deal with every day. They just never know that they have them or never know that that's a struggle because they just don't go and seek help. And I think a lot of us and our families and our friends would be healthier if we would seek help. You're welcome. Would seek help and not be afraid to. I'm going to go more into the mental aspect on, like I said, Tuesday, specifically for me, talking about how my mental health has affected my weight, has affected my choices in my eating. What did Casey say? Yeah, one of my exes were together for 3 years and we loved each other, but we were toxic for one another. My mom made me realize that just because we love each other don't mean we have to be together. In fact, Pebble said facts on facts. And that's a fact. A lot of it is codependency though. I read something that was on the Shade Room. Basically, there was a post where they had asked people to talk about what marriage was. And this brother, whoever he was, I don't know if it was a brother or, but whoever it was a married man. He came 100% real with the shits, okay? And people were like, oh, that's not how marriage is. But I'm trying to tell y'all, he was really, really straightforward. So the question was, what is the brutal truth about life after marriage? And he's been married for 13 years. His response was, sex can become monotonous. Hold on, monotonous. He's smart, okay? Because I don't even know that word. But basically he's saying the same. Masturbation can become preferable at times. And cheating makes you feel horrible. Okay, children can be really annoying sometimes, especially while babies, and you will sometimes secretly regret ever having them or having as many, and you feel guilty for having these thoughts. You and your spouse.
Wow, he's going
all the way real, okay?
He's talking about it.
He's talking about it.
Kids make you
and I'm gonna talk about that in a second too. You and your spouse will argue over absolutely pointless and meaningless things.
Want to get out.
And the sight of each other will start annoying you due to built up resentment that neither talks about. You will not want to kiss your spouse passionately after a certain point. It becomes kind of like kissing a sibling. You still have sex, you just stop kissing. Except for the hello and
turned on anymore.
Right. Except for the hello and goodbye peck thing. But you become attached to your spouse and of course to your children. And there are good moments also. So you don't want to leave. So you tend to be in a perpetual state of unhappiness mixed with what feels like odd contentment. But it's really just fear of change or what your kids or parents or in-laws or whoever will think if you divorce. Plus, nobody likes to admit failure. And most of this stuff you'll just hold inside and never tell a soul. While you smile for family photos and everyone thinks that you're okay and happy.
And you're not.
And I read that because
as the years go on.
Mm-hmm. And I read that because I thought that was, first of all, extremely honest. And it said brutal honest. He said, what is the brutal truth about life after marriage? And that is true. And that's why I'm like, you really have to search for your happiness. You really have to. That fear thing will keep you trapped in stuff and also I'm 33, so I constantly get questioned like, why don't you have any children? Why don't you have any children? You should have had children by now. Nuh-uh, because y'all motherfuckers are miserable. Y'all people who have children without the right setup, and I know you can never be prepared, but y'all niggas struggle, and I'm good off that. I'm already trying to take care of myself, trying to sort myself out. I don't want to bring a child into this madness. If it ain't ready, and if I don't have one, there are tons of children I can adopt. There are tons of children I can take care of.
I was there too when I was younger, but I'm grateful to hear now.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah.
She was a big part of my saving grace.
Yeah. And some people were saying stuff like in the comments of that post that, oh, he's in the wrong marriage. He married the wrong person. And that may be true. But I think some of it is just frank. Like after some time, I think we as humans, we get bored. It has to be more.
That's why you seek out things that excite you.
That's right.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. When you're in a marriage, they say you're tied in. They go to cuffs.
I love that he said that even though you'll want other things, even though you will cheat, even though you will feel guilty about it because the love is there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we as a people often put each other in very unrealistic boxes for a lifelong.
I'm just stressing y'all on this table. Don't worry about a thing.
very uncomfortable. You lose yourself in relationships for sure. I think if you do choose the right partner, you'll be able to discuss how you feel with them.
Or
That's what I will
can
say.
I say something?
Yeah, I just want to say this
ahead.
one thing. I think if you choose the right partner, you will be able to discuss at least how you feel about them. I don't necessarily think it'll change that you might feel that way, but it certainly will change how you feel about them. So, I mean, excuse me, it will change how you feel about them, but it will change your comfortability to talk to them about how you feel about them. Right. And I think that's the key to choosing the right partner, because, you know, you got to be able to talk. And I think a lot of that particular man's issue is he just feels like he can't. So,
yeah, he shut down.
Now you go. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, me, I feel that if there's in a relationship and y'all really love each other, allow each other to explore. Okay? Don't tie somebody into some relationship that you have the idea it's supposed to be about. You understand? The idea is to be happy. So if you can communicate, you don't have to share everything, but know what really turned y'all on in the first place. Be able to venture out, because if you venture out, then you'll find the love really back again. You understand? If it's real love there, because when you come back, you like, yo, I'm in you. I'm with you. I'm with you like this.
So okay? Pebble said explore meaning what? I don't know if you quite answered that, but she's asking,
explore, what do you mean explore the things that make you happy. Some people like to dance. Some people like to go do things in nature. Some people like to go and if I don't want to get too telling people what to do, okay? But whatever it is, you find your strength. And if that's the case, you talk to your partner and say, how do you feel about this? If I go this way, okay? It's okay. If they ain't rocking with it and it still happen on the other side, they won't be surprised about it. Although somebody, okay? It's understood. But when you tie somebody in that every time they go and do something, they want to hide every fucking thing, and that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, because we bound to each other. So if you bound each other, be real with each other and say, listen, how do you feel about that? That's it. And when you come back, because it's going to make you love them again, hard body, if you love them already. You know what I'm saying? But if everything else is stressing you out, allow her to have her rock, allow him to have his rock. Excuse me how I'm saying. That's it. Period. I ain't going no further with that. Find your own
yes,
truth.
I agree, Mom. I just wanted some clarification. Yes. It's a fact. It's a fact. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so afraid of commitment. And I'm going to talk about that on Monday too, because when I did meet with Aaron and Toy, we had some really good conversation, and it's related to my mental health, but also just my chakras. I'm going to do a lot of inner spiritual work, as long as I think all those things are entwined. But one thing, just to give you guys a teaser, one thing we chatted about was the fact that my root chakra is in shambles, basically. Like, that's the issue that I have. My root chakra is not balanced. And so I definitely need...
Good morning.
Good morning, Nova.
Nova.
I need to get that. I need to get grounded. So that's what I'm going to be exploring. And a lot of that has to do with stability, and which is why I have a hard time committing, especially thinking about marriage. To me, it's just not something I'm interested in. I'll be like, oh, it could be.
And you
wonderful.
don't have to be ashamed for that.
Right. I'm not, because I'm tired of being ashamed. I'm not being ashamed about nothing no more.
I don't want to get married.
I want to. But the thing is, sometimes I'll go back and forth, which is why it's something I want to explore. I really want to get grounded. I really want to get my root chakra in order, because I have a moment where I'm like, oh, I would love to be married. And then there's a moment where I'm like, ooh. And I think it's because I see all of these marriages that are not my ideal. Not that I would have to take that on. But Casey said, I say don't stop living once you're in a relationship. You're still an individual. People that decided to come together for love, but doesn't mean you guys can still have a life outside the relationship.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. She's feeling me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything and everything.
That's right. She's
feeling what I'm saying.
If you're just coming into the video, guys, like up the video.
Like. All right?
Yeah.
We're going to be real with it.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really wild. Mm-hmm. I think that it's easy to lose yourself in relationships because you're trying to. What's wrong?
Damn slipper. You know, went all the way up on the damn table somewhere. He got lost.
I think if you're trying to,
You chill talking about that stuff, baby.
Mm-hmm. It really does. It really, really does. But I appreciate you guys so much. I hope to see you Tuesday. I'm thinking it'll be like it would be better for me at 9 if that could work for you guys. 8:39. I'll probably get on like 8:45-ish, to be honest. Because those days that I have to go to work the next morning are pretty rough. So I will probably be on at like 8:45. And we'll just get right into the first weight loss series video, which will be focused on my mental health and how that has affected weight loss. I want to know about you guys' experiences with weight or health and how your mental health has impacted that. I want to know kind of like what you, how you have combated that, or if you're still working through it. But yes, let's see what Pebble said. Yes, Casey, but sometimes you get caught up in trying to help others see better in them. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was about to say. Like, my friend literally told me recently, like, you don't want to babysit your partner. Meaning, you want them to be equally yoked with you. You don't want to have to go out and explain to people, oh, this is why they're doing this. This is why they're doing this. That's exhausting. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's exhausting. So that's crazy. I'm about to go to the library, psychology and business homework. Nice chatting this morning, love and blessings. Okay, Casey. Anyway, we're about to kind of close this thing down now. We appreciate you guys coming. Please like the video, share, subscribe.
Yes,
subscribe.
But listen here, to my family and friends out there, there it is. Okay? I love you. I ain't forgot you.
Yes.
Believe that. Yes. Birthday people, everything, peace out.
Yeah.
Okay? My people, got to shout them out.
It was a great conversation. I agree, Pebbles. I'm very blessed. I feel really good. Church is
New York is coming.
Yes. Have a great day, guys, and an amazing week. We're going to kill it this week.
Okay.
Oh, Casey said, but just like I told your mom, don't be codependent and worrying about their needs
or
yours all the time. And that's where I'm at, Casey. I'm tired of the crap. I'm not doing it. I'm going to obviously still do everything that I need to do, but I'm not going to be bending over backwards for people, especially when you see that energy is not like it's just not the same. That's ridiculous. That is literally the most stupid thing that I've ever done and said. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, baby.
Hi.
Oh, she just tuned in. We're about to leave, but come Tuesday night. Tuesday night, 8:45, 9 o'clock. Pebble said, "What happened? I mean, she can still watch it, but we're not gonna be live." Yeah, you can watch. You're still gonna watch Chrissy. Yeah, you need to tune in, girl. We had some great conversation. We're talking about some real stuff. Okay, it was great. Okay. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful week and day. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Is Bree home? Bye-bye. Huh?